Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Dave's Delightful Dishes. As always, I'm Dave, and it is such a delight to be here today with you guys because today I've been challenged. One of my oldest friends named Wick. Now, I've known him since kindergarten. We went to school together, which was Fairfield Country Day School in Fairfield, Connecticut. And Fairfield Country Day had several lunches. There was a family-style lunch, and they had several lunches that just everybody really liked. The American chop suey that I've done in the past was one of them, and another one was creamed chipped beef. And I know everyone goes, oh, gosh, S.O.S, no, that's going to be terrible. No. No, ours was amazing. It was served with rice and peas, and they literally could never make enough of it for lunch. They would run out because people would be coming back for trays for seconds, and we just kept going through it. So we had that, and it was wonderful. And other than occasionally at a restaurant, I've hardly had it since, and I've certainly never made it. So Wick challenged me to make an upscale cream chip beef. And I said, okay, well, let's do that. So we're going to do it. So first off, it's a very, very simple recipe. Not a lot of ingredients in it at all. You have dried beef. You can get it next to where you find your bacon in the grocery store. I took the dried beef, which looks like slices of roast beef that have been dried in a packet, and I cut it into strips. And you definitely want to separate these strips out because they will stick together. It'll come apart a little bit in the cooking, but you still want to try to get it as separated as possible. I need 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour. I have a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of black pepper, more to taste as needed. And I have 2.5 cups of whole milk. During my experimentation phase, I tried my normal 2% that we keep in the house, and it felt like it was missing something. And all the recipes I saw called for specifically whole milk. So you want that because it's going to be extra rich. And this is all done on the cooktop, and it happens really fast. So let's head on over to the cooktop, and we will get started. All right, we got a nice pan heating up, ready to go. And we're going to put our 4 tablespoons of butter on there and let those start melting. The nice hot pan, it really won't take that long, which is nice. And I'm using salted butter because even though the dried beef's got some salt in it, and we're adding a little bit of extra salt as well, there's not a lot to this recipe, so a lot of the flavor is coming out of the salt and pepper that you're adding. Okay, that's far enough there. We're now going to add this dried beef. And we're going to get that around and just kind of get it like the way you cook a piece of ham, or the way you might get some bacon started. Let's just get that cooking and let that butter turn a little golden brown. Yeah, look at that. See how it's splitting up, turning this nice little individual strips. At this point, we're now ready. I'm going to put the heat down to medium so I don't burn anything. And I've got my 4 tablespoons, which is a 1/4 cup, of flour. And we got to stir that in, and we're making a roux here. So let that combine with the butter. And see how it's going brown and kind of turning into a paste? That's what we're looking for. And once that paste starts changing color, which doesn't take very long, I'm going to add in the milk. And I'm going to get a whisk and start whisking. Turn the heat up a little bit because I want to keep it simmering. And I'm going to add my salt. And I'm going to add my pepper. And we just got to whisk this up until it thickens. And this could take a couple minutes, so I will get back to you once this is come together. So once it starts simmering, you bring it down to low, and you stir it until it comes together as a nice thick gravy, which we are pretty much there right now. So I'm going to turn this heat all the way down. Give it a nice stir. And now I got to give it a taste. Helps if I have my tasting spoon. This one will do. Yep, flavor's pretty good. I think I need just a little bit more salt. So I'm going to add another pinch. And just stir to combine. And this is now nice and thick and ready to go on whatever we want to put it with. All right. A dish that's so simple, you can do it yourself on very little notice. So I got a nice little fresh biscuit here. Put some of this cream chip beef down over that, and we'll have it open-faced. Looks delightful. And then it's just as simple as bon appetit. Oh, what's that you say? That doesn't sound very much like what I described in Fairfield Country Day and how it should be rice. And why is this upscale? This is really just the basic way. You know what? You're right. Let's do this upscale. So instead of the dried beef you can get at the store, let's do some dried filet mignon that I dried myself. Cut off of the tenderloin, put in the dehydrator, and now it's ready to cook. And the white gravy, you know what? That's a bechamel sauce. So there's things we can do to that to upscale it. Let's do that. All right, I'll see you back at the cooktop. Let's make some fancy cream chip beef. Okay, same game. We're putting in the 4 tablespoons of butter. And now we have our sliced and dried tenderloin, i.e. filet mignon. This is like a double portion, just because it was hard to tell how much I would have when I was cutting it off of the primal once it was dried. So we got to let that kind of reconstitute a little bit because this is dried, dehydrated. It might take a little bit longer to soften up, but not very long. And by the way, I don't expect anyone to do this. This is just to satisfy the challenge of upscaling. By all means, you can buy your dried beef at the store, and it's going to taste wonderful. All right, once we get to a sizzle here, we're now going to add in 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. And some rosemary. And then our flour. And then goes my pepper. And I have more salt going in this time. I've got 2.5 teaspoons because this meat doesn't have any salt in its process. The other stuff is a processed meat, so it has salt as part of the preserving. This is just straight off the cow. So I'm adding that in to ensure that we're going to have it salty enough. And now I've got to add in my 2.5 cups of butter. My 2.5 cups of milk. And the same thing, we are going to whisk and whisk and whisk. I've got this on medium heat as we're trying to get this up to temperature so that it thickens. All right, I'm going to continue whisking this, and I'll be back with you when we're ready to go. Wow, is this a different animal here? This smells just absolutely amazing. Now, because this meat was dried in a dehydrator, you know, it's the milk and everything is slowly rehydrating it, but you just want to make sure that you do this slower. I put this on like medium-low heat and brought it up slowly to help just give this meat a chance to soften up, where you don't have to do that quite as much with the processed dried beef because it's paper thin and it's still pretty pliable. But that is looking to be just about done. I'm going to let it go just a smidge more, but as you can see, it's a pretty good gravy. And just the smells coming off of this with that rosemary and that little citrus twang from that bit of lemon is going to make a huge difference in the flavor, I believe. And let's go ahead and get this stuff on a plate. Green the fields that lie about us, fair the dogwood beech and fir. All right, so let's go ahead and plate this up. Now, Wick was real specific. He wanted upscale. So, not just white rice. Anyone can do white rice. Let's do some saffron rice. Nice portion of that here. And then I'm going to do some buttered peas. Yeah, I wish that they were fresh from my garden, but it's the wrong time of year. So these are steam fresh. And then let's get ourselves a nice portion of this, kind of half drizzled over the rice. There we go. And let's finish it up with one of these lovely biscuits. And this is delightful. Now, to all my friends who went to Fairfield Country Day with me, Andrew, Wick, George, Mr. Page, my father, my uncle, you all remember this with great fondness. And I want you to try this yourselves. It is very easy. I think you could still use the dried beef with the upscaled sauce, and it'd still be lovely as well. But I've had a little taste, and this is pretty amazing the way it is. So that's a challenge accepted and a challenge completed. I hope you like it. Please let me know what you think, and let your friends know about my channel. You give me a like if you can, if you like this recipe. Give me something in the comments, or if you haven't already, how about subscribing? You can also check my Facebook page, which I'm going to link in the description, which I've created one for Dave's Delightful Dishes, where I'll be putting in updates, things that I'm planning on doing, give a better place for you to give me feedback, and you can see what else is new there. Go ahead and check it out. So anyway, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon.